The four principles of object-oriented programming. Introduction. Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well. This tutorial will be relatively short in duration. This tutorial will focus on short, to the point, theoretical explanations of the four most important principles of object-oriented programming with regards to the Python programming language. Let us begin. Number 1. The principle of encapsulation. The principle of encapsulation is also known as the principle of data hiding. Encapsulation means that we have the ability to enclose code within a class. We use encapsulation to hide the implementation of data, which thus increases the level of security that we integrate into our program. In object-oriented programming with Python, we effectively encapsulate, enclose all data and methods and functions to that class and its associated objects. Encapsulation is especially important when we are working with personally identifiable information of people. Example, in an employee subclass, the employee ID field is not available to an object of the person class. No class nor object should be allowed to access information from the employee object except the employee class, unless explicitly hard-coded otherwise. Number 2. The principle of abstraction. You see, when modeling and working with real-world objects in Python, it is very much easier to model and solve a problem by first breaking it down into respective constituents and pieces. Abstraction allows us to separate interface from the implementation. So essentially, we are breaking down this complex object into a digestible yet functional code template. By making use of the principle of abstraction, we are able to express the intent of our class without actually implementing it. As an example, imagine if we were to model an engine in Python, a car engine. A car engine is an object. This object has so many parts and mechanics and features associated with it. The principle of abstraction will allow us to model a car engine in Python in an easy way by allowing us to remove all unnecessary details and characteristics. Instead of focusing on implementation, how it works, we are able to focus on interface, how it appears to behave, and this will allow us as well as users to grasp the general idea given by this class that it is indeed an engine. For example, when you start the car, the engine is switched on and the logic boards internally are activated and a whole lot more things happen behind the scenes. But to a user, the entire system appears simple. He or she simply switches the car on and the car systems become awake. They, the users, have no idea how the car engine has just been activated behind the scenes, but the programmers and engineers have. The principle of abstraction allows programmers and engineers to hide complexity of systems from users. Number 3. The principle of inheritance. I shall not discuss this concept in much detail. We have covered this principle exceptionally well in a previous tutorial. The main idea of this principle, however, is that it allows features and functionality from one class to be inherited by another. The main class is called the superclass, and the class which is inheriting functionality is called the subclass. The principle of inheritance is inclusive of single and multiple inheritance. Number 4. The principle of polymorphism. The literal meaning of polymorphism is many forms. Polymorphism allows us to have several methods with the same name, but each can have different implementations embedded within. Polymorphism greatly adds richness in features and functionality to our code and objects in Python because the implications and usefulness of being able to work with methods that have the same name but are able to do different things based on the arguments you pass it are great. As an example, Imagine we have a superclass named animal and we have two subclasses, cat and dog, which inherit from the animal class. Both the cat and the dog classes can have a method animal sound, but the output of animal sound method when called on a dog object would be bark, and for a cat object it would be meow. Conclusion. And we have successfully reached the end of this tutorial. Within this tutorial, we spoke about the 4 principles of object-oriented programming. I do hope that you found this tutorial interesting and that you have new takeaways of the Python programming language. Thank you for reading or watching up to the end of this tutorial. Definitely like and share this video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for your time.